Each one of you is meant to dance, although sometimes the movements you make are uncomfortable or painful. But not everything that has a blocking effect comes from outside you. You also have a history. You are older than this current physical life. You carry a legacy with you. Your soul has a depth that you still do not understand. So much remains hidden from you of the grandeur and mystery of your soul. Thus, you cannot know everything, but you can surrender and give yourself over to the movement of your soul. Your soul sometimes wants you to deal with negativity that comes both from without and within. There might still reside in you old baggage, consisting of emotional pain, misunderstanding, confusion that your soul intends should come to the forefront in this life. And these encounters may go against your personal desire for light and for a productive, pleasant, and enjoyable life. The purpose of encountering negativity cannot be understood by the earthly personality or by the mind, or so it seems, because that purpose is difficult to understand in that way. Therefore, you are asked to open to a deep level of surrender in order to come to terms with that negativity. And I ask you to do this now. I encourage you to feel that negativity from the perspective of my heart, my center. I see much pain and suffering. Yet, there is a part of me that is not affected by that suffering. There is this a part of me that simply witnesses it with a gentleness and deep acceptance, which understands that there is a logic in everything that happens. My way certainly isn't always the answer. It invites compassion, and it can soften your response to the person, reducing the chances of something escalating. But true, it can result in you being treated the same way again. We all need some sort of boundaries. Some people are unkind or selfish by nature. It's just who and how they are. Some have always thought only about themselves. It's so deeply ingrained that treating people unkindly is normalized, but sometimes behavior is deeply ingrained because of things that have happened to them. You just don't know. For some, the weight of their life experience can be too much eventually. Anger or hurt just sprouts out of them, and all sorts of times like an inflated balloon that's being held underwater and suddenly released. Some people have so much issues happening in their lives that they can barely keep their heads above the water. How do we know the difference? How do we know that someone's behavior is because they are suffering or have suffered, or because they are just mean or selfish by nature? Infinite consciousness conveys feelings and stimulations beyond our current experience. When we open our awareness to them, we can realize our human reality is an expression of a much greater being of infinite consciousness. Out of this consciousness, we arise as personal expressions. Our being is the source of all conscious life everywhere, and we are the creators of everything we experience. For eons, humans have lived within the limitations of empirical duality, not realizing that this is all imagined within our consciousness. Without our conscious life force, which we convey through our energetic alignment in our awareness, it could not exist. The reality of the world that we've experienced depends upon our recognition and energetic alignment It all takes place in our imagination, and we can change the quality of it with our intentions. We are imagining the world of human experience. It consists of patterns of electromagnetic waves that we perceive in our subconscious awareness as the empirical world. We have inherited this and learned it from one another. Because we have believed that we can be intimidated and terminated, we could not believe in infinite awareness. If we desire to realize our greater self, we are guided from within, transcending our limiting beliefs. We can realize that every thought and feelings is important, because it reflects back to us in our experience. We have made ourselves as we are, and we can transform our current state of being in alignment with our higher guidance. I ask of you that you become an angel on earth, and I know you can be that. Every living being on earth is working to complete its own dance, one that is perfectly suited to their unique nature, and you have your own particular dance. For you, that is always the next step that suits your life and is in line with who you are now. Feel that for a moment. Are you ready to take the next step to opening your heart and to healing the old pain? You do not need to know how that will happen. You do not need to be able to fathom the depth of your soul in order to take that next step. It comes through trust. Feel that it is good to do so. That is what I ask for you, not to save the world, but to take that one step, your next step. That is what fits right in with the rhythm and the path of development of the earth as whole, with this whole sphere of being. We do it together. If each individual being completes their dance, then doing that brings the greatest gift to the whole. For this reason, it is extremely important that you know yourself. Not to stare blindly toward what you should be or what you should like to be, but at who you actually are, here and now, and what goes on inside you. At the emotions you experience most often, the sadness you have, of your fervent desires, visions, and beautiful feelings. If you go deep down into yourself with an open heart and an open mind, you are going to become aware of the dance within you, which is not a dance you have created, but a dance your soul has created for you. Then you will be more attuned to your dance, which need not to be perfect. You are here to learn how to attune to it, so keep things simple. I recall a time in my life when people I was working with were taking advantage of my nature. And they were doing it intentionally, knowing what they were doing, that they were going to profit and leave me high and dry. They thought that, in my seeming innocence, they could effectively get away with it. But I was instead practicing willful kindness. I hoped my openness and kindness would be a light and cause them to be kind in return, or increase their kindness to others. Kindness is contagious, after all. It didn't. Sometimes it does, but it didn't on this occasion. I said no after that, and I just walked away. I could have lamented about how two-faced such a person was and refused to help in the first place, but I refused to allow their unkindness to shape the sort of a person I choose to be.